It's Friday. That means it's mail day. Come check out what came this week ending February 6th for the RKM Collection. Along with this Orioles hat, we got 3 new big cards. Let's check it out. Happy Friday, everyone, and happy collecting. Thanks for joining us for Mailbox Central this week. I just wanted to start today by just thanking those who've subscribed and for those who have sent some positive words of encouragement over the last week or two as we've just started out in our channel journey. Obviously, a lot to still go from here and a lot to learn as we continue to move forward. But I just want to say your positive support has meant the world to all of us here, and we appreciate it. So thank you. First and foremost. It's Friday, so again, that's our mail day, and we had 3 cards come in this week for the RKM collection. They span everything from Hall of Fame players to pre-war. So you're gonna get a little interesting mix of cards. They're going to hit a couple different sets that we're working towards, and I hope you enjoy looking at them. So last but not least, if you haven't already subscribed, or please encourage you to do so. Any positive support definitely helps. Don't forget to like the videos as well. And here's this week's pickups. All right, so here we are. We have 3 cards that came in this week for the RKM collection. Let's start today by looking at our first card. This is the 1967 Topps Frank Robinson, number 100. Now, the reason we picked up this Frank Robinson is because this is the first regular release Robinson that shows Frank in an Orioles uniform. In 1966, he has a card. However, they basically just took a capless image of him in his Reds uniform and put that on the card with the word Orioles on it. So it's not technically his first Orioles card. However, 67 is the first time we're seeing him in an Orioles uniform. The other nice thing, obviously, this is coming right off of his Triple Crown year in 1966. So big card to celebrate that as well. And the Orioles World Series then in 66. So we had Frank here and this is, I think, a 9, this example. And then if you look at the back of the card, it highlights the fact that he did win the Triple Crown, and shows some of his stats there in the cartoon and how he was named the top player in the World Series as well. So again, Frank Robinson, can't stress how important he is to the Orioles organization as a whole and what he helped bring them, kind of taking them to that next level. You heard the owner try to talk about Pete Alonso in the same way. We'll see what Alonso does this year with the Orioles. But anyway, so Frank Robinson, 67 Topps. We do have a Frank Robinson basic set that we're slowly working on. But as you've seen in some previous releases, the Brooks cards tend to be they're a little bit more of a priority for us. We'll pick up Franks as we see them periodically, and this one just happened to come across, so we picked it up. So this is the 67 Topps Frank Robinson. Now, the second card here is another Hall of Famer. This is from our 300 great cards of the 20th century, the 1973 Topps Roberto Clemente, number 50. Now, as many of you are aware, this is Clemente's final card, which kind of features his complete Major League stats, which is kind of the highlight to this card. On the back, you'll see that it'll list his 3,000 hits. Now, they printed this card for the 73 set, but when Clemente passed away on December 31st of 72, Topps still went ahead and decided to release the card with no mention of him passing. So this is the final Clemente card in his basic run. It's also a part of that 300 great cards of the 20th century primarily because of the stat lines here. You can see highlights that in the cartoon that Roberto got his 3,000th hit in 1972, and to see the nice even 3,000 in the Major League Totals column there is quite impressive as well. So, this Roberto Clemente, great card for historical reasons. Then, I went to Pitt, so there's a lot of affinity towards Clemente as a player and the Roberto Clemente Museum. If you haven't had a chance to visit it, I encourage you, if you're in Pittsburgh, to do that. The old Forbes Field wall on the Pitt campus is always another great baseball highlight in the Pittsburgh area. So I encourage, those are two great stops if you're a baseball fan in Pittsburgh, outside of going to PNC Park, which is a beautiful park, but hit up the Forbes Field wall in Oakland, hop into the Forbes Quadrangle. You can see the home plate there. I think it's supposed to originally be in a broom closet, but they moved it out in the hallway so everyone can see it if you're looking at original locations. But again, Clemente, obviously played many seasons, not only at Forbes Field, but then also transitioned with the team over to Three Rivers Stadium, where he did get that last 3,000th hit at the end of the 72 season. So really enjoy having this card added to the collection. It's one that, we've always thought about adding, and again, the opportunity came, and we took advantage of it. So this is the 1973 Topps Roberto Clemente. And then the last card here is our pre-war card. This is a 1906 Piedmont Rube Marquard portrait. Rube has more than one card in the set, but this is the portrait version of the card of him. And, Rube is a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer. A lot of people know him as being the battery mate for Christy Mathewson. However, he was no slouch himself. He had a rough start to his career, but as his career was ongoing, he did turn into quite a dominant pitcher. He had 20 or more games. He won on 3 separate occasions, 5 pennant-winning teams with the New York Giants. He is questioned whether or not he's deserving of the Hall of Fame. He had appeared in some interviews and things late after his retirement, as he was an older gentleman, and a lot of people feel like he may have gotten in a little bit off of some of the nostalgia there. But great player, great pitcher when he was at his prime. And again, I think in 1912 he won 19 games in a row, which is obviously almost an unheard of feat, and led the league with 26 wins that year. And he had 1,593 career strikeouts, which ranked him 3rd in history among southpaws for quite a while. Outside of baseball, he performed in vaudeville with his second wife, and again, originally finally passed in Baltimore back in 1980. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1971. So Rube Marquard, again, a great card. I love the image of this card. With T206 cards, I always look at the backgrounds in particular, and this one has a really good gradient mix from the yellow to the green, which makes this stand out. This is just a common Piedmont back. T206 has several different back types, and this is part of the factory 25 subject 350s. So again, is a common back for this card, but I thought that the image itself was really good. The background was clean. It's a little off top to bottom as far as centering. Otherwise, it may have scored a little higher than the grade it did receive. But the image itself is clean, so I can't complain about that. And needed this for our T206 set. We started building the monster quite a long time ago, back in about 10, 15 years ago. We're a little over halfway towards a full monster. Um, this is one of the Hall of Famers that we needed, and again, we're able to snag it in an auction. So again, T206 Piedmont Rube Mark card. This is the portrait version, and the final of the 3 cards that we brought in for this week. All right, there you have it. 3 new cards for the RKM collection. Tell me a little bit about your collections in the comments. I'd like to hear a little bit more about from those who are watching along. I see the views are starting to tick up a little bit. We've had a few new subscribers join in the last week or so. So, again, thank you. And I'd love to learn more about you and what you collect. We had, like I said, the 3 big cards were the 73 Clementi, the 67 Topps Frank, and then the T206 Piedmont Rube Markard. Again, collect what you enjoy. Can't stress that enough. As you can see, our collection kind of varies, everything from pre-war to modern day, and goes well beyond baseball too. I think you'll see some cards coming up here in the near future that may reflect some of that. But again, thank you for tuning in and watching this week's episode of Mailbox Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a safe weekend, everyone.